Listen to me. You're not going to build anything great just sitting there planning. I'm sorry. Somebody told you wrong. They told you if you sit long enough, think hard enough, make the plan perfect enough, success is just going to knock on your door and say, here I am. That's a lie. Success doesn't knock, it moves. It's fast, it's chaotic, it's messy. And if you're not already moving when success passes by, you're going to miss it. See, it's not the perfect plan that creates success. It's the motion, it's the action. It's you deciding I'm gonna get up even if I don't know every step. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take that first step. You hear what I'm saying? You need that first step. Because the moment you move, the game changes. The moment you move, the atmosphere shifts. The moment you move, you start attracting opportunities you couldn't even see when you were stuck sitting down thinking. You waiting for motivation? You're waiting to feel ready? You're waiting for a guarantee? You'll be waiting forever. That's the trick the enemy plays on you, keep you stuck. Keep you thinking, keep you perfecting, keep you rehearsing, keep you planning and planning until your moment passes and you're left wondering what happened. Let me tell you what happened. You thought too much and you moved too little. You calculated everything but never placed a bet on yourself. Let me break it down. You don't learn confidence sitting at a desk planning out your perfect speech. You learn it standing on a stage, heart pounding, hands shaking, speaking anyway. You don't learn leadership by reading books and watching TED Talks all day. You learn it by stepping into the fire, making decisions, getting burned, adjusting your crown, and stepping up again. You don't become great by waiting, you become great by doing. I need you to understand, action builds momentum. Not planning, not thinking, action. It's motion that generates energy. You ever notice that? You ever sit around doing nothing and somehow you feel more tired than when you're working your tail off? Because life was meant for movement. Your dreams were meant for motion. Energy feeds on energy. The more you move, the stronger you get. The more you act, the clearer you see. I'm not telling you planning is useless. No. There's a time for strategy. But some of you are using planning as a crutch. Planning is comfortable. You feel productive, you feel smart, you feel safe, but deep down you know you're hiding. Deep down you know you're scared to put yourself out there, scared to fail, scared to look stupid. So you say, I'm just working on the plan a little longer. Now you're hiding, and it's costing you everything you were meant to have. You ever seen a kid learn how to ride a bike? They don't sit there for 6 months drawing diagrams about balance. They don't study bicycle theory. They don't have a 3-year strategic plan. Nah, they jump on the bike. They fall. They scrape their knees. They get back up. They wobble, they fall again, and guess what? They ride. Because motion teaches them faster than any plan ever could. It's the same with your dreams. You can't think your way to success. You have to move your way into it. Every time you take a step, even a small one, and you build momentum, every time you act, you gather more knowledge, more strength, more belief. And that momentum is powerful. It's like a snowball rolling downhill. It starts small, but if you keep pushing, it becomes unstoppable. But if you sit still, it dies. It melts before it ever has a chance to grow. Let me make it plain. When you're moving, even if you're moving wrong, you're closer to winning than the person standing still. At least you're learning. At least you're adjusting. At least you're in the game. You can't win a game you're too scared to play. You're worried about the wrong thing. Momentum wins. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be in motion. Let me tell you something real quick. Perfection ain't what's stopping you. Fear is. Fear, plain and simple. You dressing it up nice, calling it preparation, calling it planning, calling it wisdom. But deep down, you know the truth. You're scared. Scared to fail. Scared to look stupid. Scared to get it wrong. So you hide behind this lie called perfection. You cover it up like it's something noble. Like you're just being careful. Now you're being scared. And as long as you let fear dress itself up like preparation, you will never move. You will never step into the life you were built to live. See, fear's got a funny way of disguising itself. It'll whisper to you real soft, you're just not ready yet. It'll make you feel smart for hesitating. It'll make you feel responsible for not starting. It'll pat you on the back while it's stealing your future right out from under you. That's fear's job, to keep you frozen. And you're giving it the perfect excuse every time you say, I'm just waiting for the right moment. Let me ask you a question. When has the right moment ever showed up on your doorstep? When has the perfect condition ever just landed in your lap? It doesn't happen. That's the lie. If you're waiting for perfection, you're waiting forever. Life ain't designed that way. Life is messy. Life is unpredictable. Life moves whether you're ready or not. Success belongs to those who move afraid, who move uncertain, who move unprepared but still move anyway. I'm trying to get you to see something today. That fear you're feeling, that hesitation, it's not a stop sign. It's a green light. It's a signal you're on the edge of your growth. It's a sign you're stepping into territory you've never conquered before. And if you run from it, if you sit down and try to outplan your fear, you lose every single time. You gotta stop thinking that fear is your enemy. Fear is your compass. Fear points you toward the places where your greatest victories live, but only if you stop waiting for perfect. Only if you start running toward what scares you, not away from it. You wanna know how champions are made? It's not because they had some perfect plan. It's because they moved when it was messy. They moved when it was scary. They moved when it didn't make sense to move. They took that first step when everything inside them screamed, wait. They took that leap when the world said, you're not ready. And because they moved when fear was loud, they built something fear could never take away. You scared of failing? Good. It means you're about to stretch. You scared of falling on your face? Good. It means you're doing something worth doing. You scared of being judged? Good. It means you're stepping out of the comfort zone the average person never leaves. Fear ain't the problem. Fear is proof you're on the path to something greater. But you gotta stop letting fear hide behind the mask of perfection. You know what fear loves? It loves your to-do list that never end. It loves your business plans that you tweak 100 times but never launch. It loves your books you start writing but never finish. It loves when you sit there telling yourself, just one more course, just one more piece of advice, just one more year of preparation. Fees on delay. It gets stronger every time you push your dreams back another day, another week, another month. At some point, you gotta decide, do you wanna look ready or do you wanna be great? Because those are two different things. Looking ready is about appearances. Being great is about action. It's about execution. It's about standing in front of that fear and saying, you might scare me, but you won't stop me. Listen to me. It's not the most talented person that wins. It's not the smartest. It's not the one with the best resources or the perfect conditions. It's the one who moves despite the fear. It's the one who stops asking, am I ready? And starts declaring, I'm willing. Willing to fail. Willing to look crazy. Willing to start ugly. Willing to start ugly. Willing to get it wrong 1,000 times if that's what it takes to get it right once. I need you to stop playing it safe. I need you to stop thinking you can outsmart the pain. You can't. Growth requires it. Transformation demands it. And the ones who reach the mountaintop aren't the ones who sat at the bottom planning their hike. They're the ones who started climbing while they were still scared. You scared of launching that business? Launch it anyway. You scared of stepping on that stage? Step up anyway. You scared of telling your story? Tell it anyway. Because what you don't realize is every time you move through fear, you get stronger. Every time you act while you're scared, the fear shrinks. You shrink fear by facing it, not by outplanning it. Some of you think courage is the absence of fear. Nah, courage is moving with the fear. Courage is saying, I'm scared out my mind, but I'm showing up anyway. Courage is strapping on the armor of purpose and stepping into battle, even when your knees are shaking. I'm telling you, perfection is a lie. Perfection is fear in a nice suit. It's fear trying to convince you that you need just a little more time. It's fear whispering that you're one step away from being safe enough to start. But there's no safe, there's no perfect moment. There's only now, there's only action. And here's the beautiful part. When you move scared, when you move unsure, when you move imperfect, that's when you actually find out who you are. That's when you discover your grit. That's when you discover your resilience. That's when you find strength you didn't even know you had. You don't meet your best self in comfort. You meet your best self in conflict. In action, in motion. You gotta make a decision today. Am I gonna keep letting fear call the shots? Or am I gonna step up and call my own plays? Am I gonna keep waiting for the perfect moment? Or am I gonna realize the perfect moment is made when I move, not before? I'm telling you right now, everything you want, the life you dream about, the business you wanna build, the impact you wanna make, it's on the other side of messy action. It's on the other side of imperfect moves. It's on the other side of fear. Stop letting fear dress itself up like wisdom. Stop letting fear talk you into playing small. Stop letting fear use perfection as a prison cell. You got too much purpose in you. You got too much calling on your life. You got too much destiny waiting on you to stay stuck in planning mode. Get up, go forward, run scared if you have to, move messy if you have to, but move. Because the only way you lose is if you let fear stop you. The only way you fail is if you never start. Speed wins, action wins. And fear only wins if you sit still. Let me tell you something else that's holding people back. They think mistakes are the enemy. Think messing up is failure. They think falling down means they weren't ready. Listen to me. Mistakes are not the problem. Hesitation is the problem. Fear of making a mistake is what's killing your dreams, not the mistakes themselves. You gotta stop acting like failure is final. You gotta stop treating every stumble like it's the end of the road. It's not the end. It's part of the journey. You need to change the way you see mistakes. You need to rewire your whole mindset about falling down. Because the truth is, mistakes are feedback. Mistakes are lessons. Mistakes are your personal blueprint for greatness. Every time you mess up, you just found one more way to be better. Every time you fall short, you just got closer to figuring it out. But only if you move. Only if you keep going. Only if you don't let the mistake define you. I'm telling you, if you ever want to do something significant, you better get real comfortable with imperfect action. You better get comfortable with doing it wrong before you get it right. You better get comfortable with falling flat on your face and getting back up anyway. Because the difference between the winners and everybody else isn't that the winners never fall. It's that when they fall, they don't stay down. They get up faster. They learn faster. They adjust faster. See, the world teaches you to be scared of looking bad, scared of getting it wrong, scared of failing in public. But greatness don't come from looking good. Greatness comes from learning. Greatness comes from failing fast and learning faster. Greatness comes from taking those punches, learning how to duck, and getting back in the ring stronger than before. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but what if I make a fool of myself? What if I waste my time? What if I waste my time? What if I lose everything? And I get it. Those thoughts are real. That fear is loud. But let me flip it for you. What if you succeed beyond anything you ever imagined? What if the breakthrough you're praying for is on the other side of that mistake you're so scared to make? What if falling down is the only way to rise up stronger? You gotta stop playing defense with your dreams. You gotta stop being so scared to lose that you never even step onto the field. Champions don't win because they never lose points. They win because they stay in the game long enough to outlast the losses. You hear what I'm saying? It's about endurance. It's about resilience. It's about staying in motion even when you fall. The faster you move, the faster you lose, the faster you learn. The faster you make mistakes, the faster you adjust. And the faster you adjust, the closer you get to mastery. You want to be world class? You want to be the best at what you do? Then you got to be willing to fail faster than everybody else. You got to be willing to learn through action, not just theory. You got to be willing to look silly today so you can stand tall tomorrow. You know why most people never reach their full potential? It's not because they weren't smart enough. It's not because they weren't talented enough. It's because they were too scared to look stupid, too scared to be seen stumbling, too scared to be seen sweating and struggling and falling. But you can't skip the struggle. You can't cheat the process. The process is where the strength is built. The process is where the character is forged. The process is where you become the person capable of handling the blessing you're asking for. When you move fast, you're not being reckless. You're being courageous. When you move fast, you're not being careless. You're being committed. You're telling life, I'm serious. I'm so serious about my calling that I'm willing to fall. I'm willing to fail. I'm willing to bleed for this dream if that's what it takes. And life responds to that kind of commitment. Doors open for people who are bold enough to walk through them before they know exactly what's on the other side. You sitting there trying to get everything perfect before you start. You're robbing yourself of the lessons that only come through experience. You can't theorize your way into success. You can't plan your way around the struggle. You gotta go through it. You gotta be willing to make a mess. You gotta be willing to be a beginner. You gotta be willing to be laughed at, doubted, talked about, and still keep moving. I'm trying to get you to understand the greatest people you admire. They didn't avoid mistakes. They embraced them. They moved fast. They failed fast. They learned faster. They didn't have all the answers. They figured it out while they were moving. They trusted the process enough to know that falling wasn't the opposite of flying. It was part of it. The only mistake that can destroy you is the mistake of doing nothing. The mistake of sitting on your gift. The mistake of letting fear write your story. That's the real failure. And the saddest part is you won't even realize it until it's too late. Till you look back and realize you let too many moments slip away because you were waiting for certainty, waiting for clarity, waiting for perfection that was never coming. So here's what you need to do. You need to start failing forward. You need to start moving faster. You need to start embracing mistakes like they're stepping stones, not tombstones. You need to build the muscle of resilience. Because if you can move fast and not let a mistake break you, you become unstoppable. Speed wins. Imperfect action wins. Resilient motion wins every single time. So here's the bottom line. Perfection is a lie, and hesitation is your biggest enemy. You don't need to wait for the right moment. You don't need to wait until you've got it all figured out. What you need is the courage to move, and to move fast. You need to embrace imperfection, accept mistakes as part of the process, and realize that the only way to get closer to your dreams is to take action. The faster you move, the faster you learn. The faster you learn, the closer you get to success. Success doesn't belong to those who plan the longest or wait the most patiently. It belongs to those who are willing to act in spite of their fears, to stumble and fall, to get back up and try again. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's not about having a flawless strategy. It's about having the courage to keep moving even when you don't have all the answers. You've got everything you need right now to start. You've got the fire, the drive, and the will. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let the pursuit of perfection stop you from making progress. Start messy, start now, and let speed be your secret weapon. So stop waiting, stop hesitating. Take that first step, you've got this.